All right, people. Let's keep talking about the golf swing. Make sure I don't run into anything. Going to lunch. Going to In-N-Out. Grab a couple double doubles. Protein stop. Is that lined up? What were we talking about? Talking about the motor pattern lives on your shoulders. That's where the core DNA part of the motor pattern is. It's kind of if you were to break up the golf swing into basic components, which is, there's so many moving parts. There's so many things happening. But if you just had to do a crude kind of disassembly, deconstruction of the golf swing, that would be a decent way to look at it. Is like kind of what are my arms doing with the club in relation to the pivot, and then what is the pivot doing, and then how are those synchronized together, and that the way they're synchronized, both in timing, tempo, timing, and geometry. That's kind of the core DNA of your motor pattern. That's what your brain is. That's the control center, command center. That's kind of what your brain is paying attention to, for the most part. And if you're going to change something fundamentally between the relationship between those two things, good luck, dude. Good luck, because you're going to need it. In fact, there's probably a 99% chance that even if you were to listen to this entire video, which I don't recommend because it's going to be long, because I don't care that it's long form. I don't care about clicks and views. I don't care about presenting it in a way that keeps eyeballs engaged. In fact, I'd recommend that you stop now. I'm not going to tell you there's something good at the end to wait for. Stay till the end because we've got a little surprise for you. No, there's no surprises. It's probably going to get worse. It's going to be more disappointing, and it's going to add to the depression that you already have about your failure to change your golf swing in any meaningful way. It's just going to get worse. So if you tend to be a little bit of a masochist and you like getting super deep into the weeds about this stuff, then you can, suit yourself. But for most people that want to maintain their sanity, I would say don't do it, because even if you listen to all of it, there's very little chance you can do anything about it. There's not much I can do about it, and I guarantee you I'm better than most of you. Not all of you, but I'm better than most of you. Not in terms of talent. I mean, just in terms of I've spent 40 years thinking about it. Nothing but it. Only it. Only that. Only this thing. For 40 years. So I know more than you. Pretty sure. And I still have a really hard time doing it. So I think the chances that you're going to do it are pretty slim. But if you were going to do it, this is how you do it. That's what I would say. So I guess that's why they call me the rude golf swing diva. One guy called me that, and I thought it was. I don't care about the comments. I don't answer the comments. I don't even look at the comments. I don't get any comments. But when I get comments, I don't really pay attention to them. But I do remember seeing this one comment where this guy was asking me questions about some video I'd done at some point. And because I didn't answer him, and I don't even know if I saw it. I think I saw it much later. I'll look and go, oh, some guy commented 3 months ago. All right. I don't think I saw it at the time. But he got his feelings hurt. And his next comment was like, I guess you don't even have that many followers, but you're such a, like, you think you have the ability to act like a rude diva and not answer even polite questions. And I got a kick out of that. So I thought, yeah, rude golf swing diva. I changed the title of my channel. I think that sounds appropriate. Good for him. Nice job. Good creativity. I like it. Has a nice ring to it. But yeah, I don't care. But I like talking about this stuff, even if it's just floating out there into cyberspace. I guess it's kind of a good way for me to organize my own thoughts. That's why a lot of it's rambling. There's no rehearsal. I am like just flowing with it, man. Just flowing with it. So here we go. So what's the next item on the agenda? The next item on the agenda is that just kind of bouncing or kind of building onto the idea that the hardest thing to change in your golf swing is basically the relationship between your arm swing and your pivot. Also, in terms of when that relationship is the most sensitive and the most difficult to change, the most sensitive to changes, and the most catastrophic if you get it wrong, is in your transition. So when you're making the golf club change directions. So the motor pattern lives on your shoulders in your transition. That's what's happening. I did a video one time for one of the grovelers, one of the guys in the Groveler Mafia. And I just step up there and I hit a bunch of different, maybe I'll post that video. Did I already post it? I don't know. Maybe I'll post that video. I just walked out there and made a bunch of goofy backswings and then just tried to put the club on the ball and hit something resembling a golf shot. I make a bunch of weird backswing moves at it. But that, again, is different as some of those weird backswings will look. Not really, those aren't really motor pattern changes, right? Because what I end up doing is somewhere between halfway back and the top, I start trying to run home to mama, right? I try to find where I normally am. Even though when I first take the club away, you go, whoa, that looks different than what you're used to doing. By the time I get into transition and down to P5, and P5 is the go, no go for lunge, P5 being left arm parallel in the downswing, you got to have it all squared away by then, or you're going to whiff the thing. You're going to clank it. You're going to hit it poorly. So you got to have it pretty well organized by then, by P5. P6, absolute last chance. That's the gateway to a good impact. But in transition is when you're getting ready to funnel it into P5 the right way, right? So in transition is when you're doing all the work to get the alignment, tempo, sequence, timing, all that stuff, dancing around together in a concert of motion where everything's blended together nicely and it's going to deliver good speed, geometry, and impact. So if you ask me to do something weird until whatever, P3, P3.5, yeah, you can do some really weird stuff. It doesn't mean you want to go play a tournament doing weird stuff as you take the club away, but you can stand out there in the range and do some weird stuff and still put the club on the ball reasonably well. But what you can't do is just suddenly decide you're going to make your transition fundamentally different. And that's in relation to not only the sequence in which things are happening, but the geometry in terms of how the arm swing matches up with the pivot. So an example of that would be kind of the pitch in the shaft. So what your arms are doing with the way the shaft pitches in transition. Some guys will steepen it. Some guys will kind of stay in the same pitch. Some guys will shallow it. Typically good players, they go from steep to shallow a little bit. Some guys shallow it a little more and tip the head back a little bit more, but most good players, you're going to see some kind of this thing happening, right? You can see, just like again, baseball throwing analogy, this is kind of what's happening in the transition for good players. Something along those lines. You usually don't see it go the other way. But let's say you did it pretty well, and you, as a thought experiment, an exercise, whatever, if you decided I'm going to make it go the other way, so I'm not going to go this way, I'm going to go like that, right? I'm going to go shallow to steep, and I'm going to do that. I'm not going to use the way my shoulders move to make the shaft do that thing, right? So no. It's going to be the shoulders are going to do their normal thing, and then I'm going to do something different with my arms. Do you see where I'm going? So the arm swing in relation to the pivot is going to change, and I'm going to do that in transition. Good luck, man. I mean, I think I did a video doing that, right? So I think I'll post that one where it was really hard. Like, can you physically do it? Yes, but can you do it and hit in a golf shot that looks like even close to? Can you execute a decent golf shot doing that suddenly? Man, that is so hard to do. And it's because of the way your brain is operating through that motor pattern. Like, things are getting real in the transition, man. Things are happening fast. And when the club starts down, you got about 0.2 of a second until impact. So you can't lollygag around. That's where, in the timing, the tempo, the sequencing, how your pivot and arm swing are working together to deliver good impact geometry and speed, all that stuff. That's all got to be getting squared away in the transition. So if you decide I'm going to do something fundamentally different with the relationship between arm swing and pivot, and I'm going to do it with the transition, that would be your biggest challenge. Unfortunately, for all you guys, and me, I'll include me this time because it's true, there's certain things I do in my transition that have been the bane of my golf swing existence for a long time. Is it better now? It's a little better now. It's not as good as it needs to be. It's really hard. Been working on it some, and I kind of know what I need to do, but it's just intellectually knowing what you need to do. That's the first, you have to have that, but that's just when the work begins, man. So, yeah, if you're gonna do that, it's really hard. And unfortunately, the problem is that most golfers, if they're gonna make a fundamental change to their golf swing to get it to look more like a tour pro, it's probably the relationship between the arms and the pivot. And it's probably the transition like that. Like, look there, because you're gonna see all the problems developing. And it's not usually just changing one thing. It's not like, oh, your pivot is great. I mean, your pivot looks like a tour guy, but your arm swing we need to tune that up a little bit. No, it's usually that they're both doing something wrong and they've been mixed together in some strange, horrible potion that gives you some level of mediocrity. And you're going to have to change both, not only fundamentally what each are doing independently, but then you're going to have to put them together in a different way also. And that's a pretty good summary of why people aren't going to get better. Like, most of you out there are not going to get better because of this. And I'm not trying to be, a jackass, or I'm not trying to be mean. That's just the way things are. And someone, like, no one else in social media is going to tell you the way things are. Like, there's plenty of channels out there that are going to tell you, here's the secret the pros never told you. This takes no practice at all. This is amazing. And they'll put some scary face on their exclamation points, like some confused look on their face for the thumbnail, something, like, just to get you in there to take a look. And what they're saying a lot of times is not necessarily bad or anything. It's presented a way, like, here's the final, like, here's the skeleton key that's going to unlock the whole scenario for you. Like, here's the thing you need that's really going to snap everything together, so you can just become the best ball striker you've ever been in your life, and it's going to be amazing until next week, because there's a new secret coming. Yeah, no, unfortunately not. That's not the way it's going to work. Not if you want to like move the club like a pro moves it. And I'm not even assuming you need to have their level of talent, their level of time and resources and instruction and facilities and blah blah blah. I'm just saying, to make your golf swing function even near what those guys are doing, what you're going to have to do is incredibly difficult for very specific reasons that I'm trying to give you. I'm trying to give you the whole outlay. These two videos, and you're just not going to do it. So, that's really the summary of this whole video, is that you don't have a chance. But if someone said, but if I were to try to do it, and I wanted to try to do it in a way that had some chance of success, even though the chances were 1%, how would I do it? All right, well, you'd start to think about it this way. I mean, I'm happy to give the information. I'm happy to be the bearer of bad news. I've never minded that very much. So anyway, that's kind of a summary of part 2. And this is not even close to getting into the weeds about this stuff. Like, I've just showed you the basic overview. But knowing this in theory could help a groveler. Just in terms of laying out your strategy. Like, am I even going to put a dent in this thing? Most people aren't, but in grovelers probably the least likely. But if you're going to try, like, I'll tell you the right way to do it, just because it doesn't cost me anything. I don't have a problem with that. So there it is. That's the overview, right? And we're going to build on it. There's probably 2 of you left, and the 2 of you are not going to, you probably got no chance. But that's fine. For you 2, here you go. There it is. All right? So, arm swing, pivot, how are those things talking to each other? And how it, more specifically, in the transition, where things are starting to get real, is it organized by then? It's not. I can tell you right now. I don't even have to see your swing. It's not. So let's work on it. So there you go. We're going to get deeper into the weeds about the mechanics of what's actually happening, but you need to know that going in. But this is the cold, the kind of the harsh, cold, kind of the sobering truth behind all this stuff. So anyway, on that note, that was actually one of my more uplifting videos. So you're welcome for that. Anyway, keep working on it, grovelers, and we'll talk again. See ya.